what is the short-term goal, what is the medium-term goal, and what will be the long-term goal for Letters for Change?
There are three things that I have learned, and then I'll build on the answer that you were asking. So one, I have realized that we just cannot think like children.
Right.
Now, our life stages makes us think very differently than children. And we all think alike. Children, on the other hand, think very different. Each child thinks differently. And as we grow up and cross a certain age, we start thinking alike. दूसरी चीज जो मैं सीखा कि children do want to express. So they definitely want to express. Some letters have completely, if the word is shaken me, then I would use that. There's a child who wrote saying that to a friend, saying that I'm very sorry that you've lost your father and I want to talk to you, but I don't know what to talk to you. So I'm writing a letter here. Maybe you'll read this. Now, we would have never thought something like this. There's another child who's written that my mother loves my elder brother more. I wish she loved me as much. Now, who would write this, such a personal thing, risking so much? Imagine if this letter gets caught at home and writing to an unknown agency. We are not even a person. We are just an organization. There's another child who's a 12-year-old girl who's written about, taboos around menstruation, that my dadi doesn't allow me to do this. She doesn't allow me to touch the altar in the temple. She doesn't allow me. And when I questioned her that why shouldn't I do this? So the only answer she had was that because my grandmother told me this. So her simple end to the letter is that reasons should be looking forward. They should not come from the past.
Right.
Can we have a logic to it? And that's a very simple thing, Right. We should be forward looking. Then, and there are countless such letters. There's one particularly that is way different than I can imagine. Any letter that I can imagine is when Sushant Singh Rajput passed away, a girl wrote to us and she just poured her heart out. There were tears on that letter when she had, when I saw that image of the letter, you could make out that there are tears on that letter. And she just poured out saying that I'm a fan and I feel so sad that this person passed away. I've been a huge fan of people. I have traveled to meet people. I have stood for like hours and hours to wait and see my heroes. I don't think I would have written a letter like this to someone, and definitely not a stranger.
Right.
So children definitely continue to surprise us. They need a ear. The next thing that happened is there is a girl who came. So we amplify these letters on social media. And there's a girl who came and discussed a letter. And she said that the letter was about that when I play, nobody encourages me, but when I study, everybody encourages me. And I want people to encourage me when I play as well. Because that's very close to my heart. But it's unfortunate that nobody does. That's a very simple thing. This girl, at the end of the session, at the discussion, the letter, she said that while I have never been interested in sports, but this letter has made me realize that if ever I have a child and my child is interested in something like sports or anything that I'm not interested in, I will still encourage them.
Right.
So I will not force my ideas on them. That is the change that we talk about.
Okay.
Now, talking of short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals, no, when Letters for Change started, we didn't really have any goals. It was not the idea. It was just one movement which will create a space to listen to children. As we shaped up, we realized that how are these letters going to make change? So on this session, for sake of consumption, I'll tell you, the original idea was that we'll collect letters and send them to the intended recipients. Originally, the idea was that maybe if the letters are small, the number is small, we'll send it to the Prime Minister's office. Then if the number grows, we'll send it to the respective Chief Minister's office, and so on. But something happened which told us that the government probably is not so excited about getting letters. So then we decided that we will just display those letters. And we will discuss those letters on social media where people can come and see. We will make it available to a large number of people. Now, they'll be shareable. And so these letters in the new website that has come up are shareable. You can share on different social media.
Okay.
Then so this is how it started. The next thing that was there, because everybody used to ask, "Ye letter se kya hoga?" So Mahika used to be fed up because she was the only one who believed. Even I did not have a belief that letters could change her. जब तक किसी को मिल नहीं रहे तब तक चेंज नहीं आना है.
Right.
That's how I was. But Mahika was that it is not about the world. एक बच्चा अगर ये चिट्ठी लिखता है कि साहब मेरे गली के अंदर लाइट नहीं है when I walk down, it is not that the municipal commissioner or somebody will come and you put up a bulb there or a light there, street light. It is that child would have discovered that I can talk. It is that child who would have discovered that I have a voice which needs to be heard. Now, one common mistake I used to make when we started, that was Letters for Change is an initiative to give voice to children. And Mahika would correct me and she would say that, Daddy, we are not doing a favor to children. They already have a voice. When I used to say that Letters for Change is an initiative to give voice to children, she would correct me. She would say that, no, we are not doing children a favor. Children have a voice, and it is just that they don't know when to talk. It is just that they're too scared to talk. It is that nobody listens to them. So that's when we did the missioning and visioning exercise, she participated in that. We had an external consultant, a friend, couple of friends who came down. They were experts in this space, and they interviewed her. They had a chat with her. And she said what came out, basically what she wanted to say and what came out was that to amplify children's voices and inspire change. So it is not about that there's a direct change that is going to happen. It just inspires a change. Now, this letter that Tina talked about, that a cancer patient child is saying that because my parents live in Odisha and I have to go to Kolkata for treatment and I have to live away from them, can there be a cancer hospital in Odisha where my parents can stay with me? Now, if a bureaucrat or a politician or somebody who's in a position of making a difference, or a young person like Nitishri, who goes on to become somebody who can influence the system, reads this letter and this stays in her mind. So 10 years from now, maybe she will start working on creating such hospitals and treatment centers across the country. That is the idea that we are looking at. It's not a transaction this organization is created for. So there is no short-term, medium-term, long-term. The operational challenge that we face, which we want to overcome,